Welcome to the complete Shopify AliExpress dropship course. And the first thing I want to say is a massive thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to buy this course. Now, I know your time is precious, but I also know that you're not going to be disappointed by the enormous amount of information that I'm about to share with you. I also want you to know that you are in very capable hands. I have a huge amount of experience in this area. I've been doing it for many years, and I've helped literally thousands and thousands of students with this course to create success with their drop shipping stores. So sit back and relax, enjoy this course, and take your time. Now, I am always here to help you. I'm constantly answering students' questions, so if you have any problems at any time, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Now, with that said, what is so important is to understand that this course is all about taking action. Watching lectures is great. What I'm going to teach you here is how to build out a $10,000 per month business. And in order to do that, you need to take action clearly. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. So as we progress through the course, follow me step by step. Take your time, as I say, but take action as you go, and you're going to see your business starting to build out throughout the course. It really is a very exciting process. Now, the very first thing that we need to do is to understand the building blocks of this business, okay? The basic foundation on which you're going to build this fabulous business. And I call those the essentials. So essential number one is the business model, or how you will make money. Clearly, you need to understand what this whole business model is about and how it's going to actually make you money and build you a very exciting business. And in the next lecture, I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Now, essential number two is all about setting up your free Shopify account. Now, if you've never heard of Shopify, don't worry, but it's basically the software, the platform that we're going to use to build out your fantastic store. And the great thing about Shopify, and one of the reasons why it really has become almost the market leader, is that it is so easy to use. It's super simple. Okay, you don't need any technical knowledge. It's basically point and click. And dare I say, even fun to use. You're going to really enjoy building out your Shopify store. And then essential number three is all about understanding your Shopify account. Now, as I say, Shopify is super easy to use. So in this essential, I will show you, I'll give you a very high level view of your Shopify account so you are very much at ease and you really understand the power and how simple this software is to use. So those are the three essentials. Those are essential building blocks, and they're all coming up in the next 3 lectures. So in the next lecture, let's dive into essential number one. Okay, fantastic. You made it to essential number one, the very first step in building out this fantastic business model and perhaps changing your life altogether. Now, as I said before, essential number one is the business model, or how you will make money. What I want you to do here is just to understand the high level concepts of what this business is all about. Okay, we're not going to delve into any detail or anything like that. We're just going to keep it very high level, a helicopter view, if you like, of how this whole process is going to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build out your e-commerce store. And we're going to do that with that software that I was talking about before in the previous lecture called Shopify. And I was also saying it about Shopify is that it's super easy to use, all point and click, okay? So please don't feel overwhelmed or anything like that. You're going to see how this all evolves. If you've never done anything like this before, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to possibly build out my own e-commerce store? You're going to see how simple and fun it is to do. Now, once we've built that store, we're going to have basically a store, if you like, this empty. You can almost imagine a store in the real world that's just got its shop window, but nothing's actually in it. That's what your store is going to look like in the beginning. So we need to then start to stock it with items so that people can come and buy them. But we're not going to stock them with their physical items. We're going to stock them with just pictures and text, much like any store that you might see out there on the internet. But where are we actually going to get our physical items from when people buy them from our store? So this is where an amazing website comes in called AliExpress.com. Now, if you've never heard of AliExpress, it's it's absolutely massive website with millions and millions and millions of products on it. And the reason it's so interesting is because the prices are so attractive. So let me show you how this is going to work by way of example. Let's just imagine that we have found a t-shirt on AliExpress for $3. Okay, and I want to say straight away that this business model is not about selling t-shirts. Okay, you can sell t-shirts if you want, but what I really want to emphasize is you can sell absolutely anything. Okay, this example is going to be about t-shirts, but please understand, you can sell anything you want. So we found a t-shirt on AliExpress for $3. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the images, so the image of the t-shirt, and we'll take the text, the description of the t-shirt, and we're going to put it on our site. And the only thing we're going to change is the price. And I'm going to put it on my site for $20. So I think you can probably already start to see how we're going to make money. So we've got our store now with one item in it. Okay, of course, eventually we'll have many, many items, but for the moment, we've just got one item. And the next step, therefore, is to find somebody, of course, to buy it from our store. So let's imagine we have a customer. Here he is, okay, my stick knit and looking very trim, wandering around in the wilderness. And what we want to be able to do is to target that customer. We want to find customers who will buy t-shirts. Okay, in this example. And that's a big part of what I'm going to teach you on this course as well. I'm going to show you how you can laser target the right people so that they will come to your store to buy your products. So we found the perfect customer. So that customer will come to the store to buy the item from your site. And in this case, the t-shirt for $20. So once he's bought that from our store, we now have $20. You now have $20 in your hands. Okay. Now, I know there's a lot going on here, but if you cast your mind back just a few minutes, I also said that we weren't going to stock the store with any physical products, simply images and text. So at this point in time, you're not able to send him the t-shirt that he just bought because you do not stock t-shirts. You don't hold any stock. And this is where AliExpress comes in once again. Having bought the item from our site for $20, we then go over to AliExpress and buy it for $3. And we will ask the supplier over on AliExpress to send the item directly to the customer, okay? Not to us, not to anybody else, but directly to the customer. And that process of sending it from AliExpress directly to the customer is called dropshipping, okay? So the customer will receive that item, and there he is, he puts on his t-shirt, and he also has a slightly bigger head. But in any case, he's extremely happy. He has received his product. So with that in mind, let's have a think about what that actually means from a business perspective. Let's see how that makes us money. Okay, so there's a few things popping up down here in the right-hand corner. Okay, I just want to draw your attention to that. So we have sold it for $20 on your site. We then went over to AliExpress and we bought it for $3. Now, I told you I was going to teach you how to find those ideal customers and bring them to your site, and that's going to involve a certain amount of advertising. So let's imagine that we spent $2 on advertising to get that customer, to your site. That leaves you with a profit. Okay, a profit of $15. And that's just for one transaction. And we can repeat this process over and over again. I'm sure, I really hope that you can see in that very simple example exactly why this whole model of Shopify, AliExpress, and dropshipping is super, super powerful. So just to help you further understand why this is so exciting, let's have a look at the advantages. And there are numerous advantages, but I'm just going to pull out the main ones. Okay, so over here now in the left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, I'm going to list out some of the advantages. Now, the first one is that you never have to own any stock, okay? When somebody buys it from your site, the item will be sent directly from the supplier in AliExpress to the customer. You never own any stock. That means you don't need a garage full of t-shirts waiting to sell or some other product, okay? You don't need to fill up your apartment with, you don't have to worry about any of those problems at all. The other great thing is that you get the money up front. When we sold that t-shirt on your site for $20, you immediately have that money, okay? And then we went over to AliExpress and we bought it for $3 and immediately made a profit of $15 after taking out for advertising. So by getting the money up front, you don't have a cash flow problem. So many businesses require an enormous upfront investment, thousands and thousands of dollars perhaps. But here you don't need that. You will get the money up front before you buy that product and ship it to the customer. The other thing that I've mentioned a few times now that you're going to see as we now progress through the course is that there are no technical skills required. Shopify is super easy, super point and click. I'm really excited about sharing you that in these lectures, which are coming up very, very soon. You also don't need any prior knowledge of e-commerce. Okay, if you're watching this and you're thinking, goodness me, I feel like I should at least have some sort of business knowledge or perhaps done this before or something like that. You really don't, okay? Literally anybody with enough determination. Of course, taking action is so important, but if you've got that determination and you're willing to take action, there's absolutely no reason without any prior knowledge of e-commerce whatsoever that you can build out a fantastic business. Now, the next thing, which I think you can probably already see as well, is that it's very easily scalable. It really is literally up to you. How fast you want to grow this business, how big you want to grow this business. You might be thinking, I just want to make an extra $1,000 a month part-time, maybe go to a full-time job, and just want to do a little bit of part-time stuff and you want to make $1,000 a month. You might also be thinking, well, actually, that's not enough. I want to go bigger than that. I want to go to perhaps all the way up to $100K a year or maybe even beyond. All right, these are all possible with this model. It has the scalability baked in, and it's really just entirely up to you, your determination as to how far you want to take it. And then lastly, this is highly profitable and you can run it from anywhere, even part-time. Okay, you could, in the long term, certainly build a full-time business out of this. Many people have done so. But you can also do it part-time if you got that job, as I was saying to you before just now. If you have a job and you just want to try to fit this business model in and grow it while working your own job, you can totally do that. And you can run it from anywhere. I've been in e-commerce for well over 20 years, and I run my business from home and all kinds of various locations. It is totally transportable. If you want to, you can live that kind of internet lifestyle, as it's sometimes referred to. This model allows you that. And I repeat myself, but it is basically entirely up to you as to how far you want to take this, your determination, and your ability to take action. So let's just take a step back just to finish, because I know there's an awful lot of information there, especially if you've never seen anything like this before. And if you're feeling a little bit kind of overwhelmed, first of all, I want you to know that's totally normal, okay? Often when we start new processes like this, we feel overwhelmed. So don't in any way you feel that's a bad thing. Just take your time. If you found this a little bit confusing, or even if you've absolutely got it 100%, it's a great idea just to watch this lecture again, or maybe 2 or 3 times here until you really start to get the concepts. Now, with that said, you don't need to understand every single detail of what I'm talking about here. As we go through the course, it's going to become clearer and clearer, and you're going to get more and more excited about what this business model has to offer. So huge congratulations in taking this first step on what is going to be a very exciting journey. I hope you can feel the excitement in my voice. I love teaching this model because it really is amazing. So in the next lecture, you're going to see a link, and I want you to click on that link, because what that's going to do is it's going to be the very first step in setting up your very first Shopify store. And the great news is you will then have a no obligation free trial. So there really is no reason whatsoever not to get started. So let's crack on, and I will see you again very soon. Okay, welcome back. So in this lecture, we're actually going to set up your free Shopify account. And what you're looking at right now is the slide from the previous lecture where I asked you to click on the link in order to access Shopify and kick off that free trial. So if you haven't done that already, really important, click on the link so that you can follow everything. Also very exciting content going forward during the course. So all you need to do is to click here where it says please click here to access Shopify. If you haven't done this already, click on this link and you arrive on Shopify. Now you might not see exactly this message here because this changes from time to time depending on what Shopify are up to. but what you will certainly see is a place to enter your email address. Okay, so I'm going to put in my email address here, timshab@ecommercemindset.com. Of course, you're going to put in your own email address. And once you've done that, simply click on Start Free Trial. Then all we need to do is answer a few basic questions. Okay, so you can see the first one is, which of these best describes you? So we've got, I'm just starting, and I'm already selling online or in person. Well, we are just getting going. We are just starting. So let's select this one here and go next. Then we need to decide where we would like to sell. Well, what we're going to be doing on this course is building a very successful, a very exciting online store. That's all you'll need. And as you can see, that is checked by default, okay? An online store included. So all we need to do there, don't touch anything, just click on next. Then what we'd like to name your store. Well, you're probably thinking right now, actually, I'm not sure, I'm not ready, which is good because in fact, as you can see, it's optional. So you can just simply leave this blank and click on next. Then where will your business be located? Now, by default, this should simply pick up where you are located right now, which is absolutely fine. You can see here at the moment I'm in Portugal as I record this. So it's saying Portugal. Almost certainly there's showing at this moment your country where you are right now. If it's not, of course, you can change it. All right. But otherwise, just accept the default, then click on next. And that will bring up this final step where you will need to create a Shopify account. Now, what I suggest you do is that you continue with email. Okay, just keep it simple. Click on continue with email. That's going to bring up the email that you put in right at the beginning of this process. And then all you'll need to do is choose a password. So I'm going to put in my password. As you can see, it's nice and strong. So choose a good password and then just simply click on create Shopify account. Then it's going to set about building your store. All kinds of clever stuff going on in the background now as it starts to build, believe it or not, the bare bones of your very, very first Shopify store. And here it is in just a few clicks and absolutely zero cost. You now have an incredibly powerful piece of software at your fingertips to build your incredible business. Now, you're probably looking at this, if you've never seen Shopify before, thinking, oh my goodness, what's all this about? Right? You might feel a little bit overwhelmed at this stage, and that's absolutely normal, absolutely fine, okay? That's why you've got me. I am here now to help you understand this product. And what I want to say straight away is that this is not complicated, okay? You don't need any prior technical skills. You don't need any fancy software knowledge or anything like that. You're going to see how easy this is to use. It's all point and click. It really is an incredible product. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to show you in the next lecture a high-level overview of Shopify just so that you appreciate kind of how it works and you start to build that confidence, start to feel that, yes, you really can do this. So I'm going to see you in the next lecture. Okay, welcome back. As I was just saying in the last lecture, what I want to do now is put a warm blanket around you, okay? I want to get you feeling comfortable with Shopify so that you can see how powerful and easy it is to use. Now, just before we do that, just a few points that I'd like to point out at this stage. First of all, please note down the password that you use when you set up your Shopify store. Because if you're anything like me, you're probably going to lose it. I'm sure you're more organized than I am, but nevertheless, please note that down. Second thing is, it's a great idea to bookmark your store. Okay, so bookmark your store so you can come back to it easily whenever you need to. And thirdly, you're going to see, as we can see here on the screen right now, things like this. Your trial just started, select a plan. Okay, select a plan. And also you probably received an email from Shopify by now, which probably has also prompts for you to select a plan. Now, what I want to make clear immediately is you do not need to select a plan at this stage. Okay, we are in no rush here. We have plenty of time. I've got all kinds of amazing stuff I want to show you. And with that in mind, let's get going. So the first thing I want to show you is something really cool, okay? So if you come over here on this left-hand menu here where it says online store, if you hover over that, you're going to see a little eye. And if you click on that little eye, it's going to open up your store, okay? Without you doing anything, Shopify has already given you a store to use. Now, I appreciate it needs a lot more work, which of course is what we're going to be doing on this course, but it's amazing that all of this is already in place. I've been in e-commerce over 20 years, and this is some of the best software that I've seen in that time. So let's just take a moment to see exactly what we do have. So first of all, we have a logo of sorts, okay? My store, it says, very generic, but that's fine, okay? Then we have the home page, which is the home page we're looking at now. We have the ability to add a catalog, which of course is going to be our products. We have a contact page so that people can see what we're about so that they can contact us. For move over here to the right, I have built-in functionality already to be able to search my store. And I also have a cart. I have a full built-in checkout. I have, in fact, everything I need from A to Z or A to Z, depending on where you're from. Everything is here to help me build out an e-commerce store. Okay, bear with me as I keep on saying, doing anything to this point, it really is very, very cool. Now, if we scroll down a bit, you start to see some predetermined sections. Now, first of all, we have this image banner. Okay, you can see this big image behind here. Now, I could replace this with a really cool image that says something about my store and welcomes people immediately into my store. Obviously, I would change this lettering here, image banner, to something like, welcome to my store. And then below here, come and browse our amazing selected products. I can do all kinds of stuff. And of course, I'm going to show you how to do all of it. If we go down a little bit further, we have other sections, talk about your brand, featured products, a multimedia collage, etc. Okay, going down a bit further, I have some preset columns, and finally finishing off with some quick links, a search. Then even a place for my potential customers to put their email so they can receive my newsletter should I want to put one together. So there's so much here. And of course, this is simply their first presentation. We can change all of this, and we can change all of it very simply with no technical knowledge. So just scrolling back up to the top, I hope you can already appreciate how much we have here for absolutely free. So let's now go back to where we were before. Now, this part here, I'm going to be referring to throughout the course as the back end, okay, or the admin system. I'll probably use those throughout the course. If you hear those, I'm talking about this section here. And there's a real distinction between this part, the back end, and this, the store itself. And to make it really clear, I want to use an analogy, a real world analogy, just so you can really appreciate why these two parts are so different. So let's imagine a store in the real world, okay, in your high street or in your shopping mall or wherever it might be. Let's just imagine a small store with a glass front, okay, that glass front with all those products tempting you in, and the actual shop itself is what you're looking at here, okay, your website, your actual store. Now, behind that store in the real world, let's imagine there's a little door. Then you go through that, and behind that door is the stock room, is the person doing all the billing, the person putting the products together, all the stuff that's making the business work, okay? That's the admin section in the real world. That's the back end, okay? So I hope you can sort of appreciate how I'm trying to describe this, okay? This is the back end. This is the engine. This is where all the work gets done. And this, the store itself, is where you get to showcase all of that good work to bring in your customers to buy your fantastic products as you build out your business. Okay, so let's head back now to the admin system. Now, just before I get into this in a bit more detail, I do want to say that while I keep on saying that Shopify is this incredibly powerful piece of software, which it is, but I also want to emphasize that you don't need to understand all of it in order to be able to build a fantastic business. A lot of software is incredibly complex, and we only really use a little bit to get the job done. I think a really classic example is an Excel spreadsheet or any equivalent spreadsheet product. Those spreadsheet things can do amazing mathematics, but for the most part, we use it to add up a couple numbers, right? It gets the job done. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly the case with Shopify. What I am saying is there are only parts of this that we need to build our business. And that's where you have a huge advantage with this course. I'm going to be showing you as we go through only those bits that you need, right, to get the job done. Of course, you can explore whatever you want at your leisure. But I'm going to be showing you the bits that you absolutely need so you get the most direct path, the most efficient path forward to your success. Okay, so as we go through, if you start thinking to yourself, hang on a second, why isn't Tim talking about this? Or why is he talking about that? Well, it's probably because possibly we don't need it at all, or maybe I'll be talking about it later at the appropriate time. But rest assured, I'm going to be teaching you everything you need to know. So with that in mind, let me give you a high-level overview, a very high-level overview, in fact, of Shopify, once again, to get you familiarized with this product. Okay, so as you can see, by default, we are on the home page. I draw your attention to this left-hand menu over here. Okay, so we're on the home page by default, and over here, you're going to see a summary, if you like, of where you are with your business. This will kind of take care of itself in a sort of automated fashion, if you like, so it's not really something we need to be massively concerned about. What we do need to be concerned about are the 3 building blocks of any business, okay? And that would be products, orders, and customers, all right? So on Shopify, of course, we have the ability to add products to our store, and that's going to happen in this section here. We can manage our products, we can add images, we can set pricing, all that good stuff that I'm sure you can imagine. Then what's going to happen is people are going to come to our store and they're going to buy our products, which is then going to create an order. So then we will have a list of orders building up, okay? Who bought the product, when they bought it, where we got to ship it to, etc. All of that essential information is going to be held in the orders section. And then, of course, once they've actually bought that product, they become a customer. So we have a growing list of customers building up here that we could perhaps contact at any time with an email list or any of that kind of good stuff, all right? But all of our customers are going to be showing here. So, the lifeblood of any business are products, orders, and customers. And it's all represented just here in Shopify. Next up, we have analytics. So this is where you're going to see statistics forever about your business. Many of them are very useful. So you could be looking at things like, where do your customers come from? Where are your most profitable customers coming from? Which is your best-selling product? Which is your worst-selling product? You might want to discontinue it, for example. So many things could be shown in analytics, and you're going to find it all here under this tab. Then we have what is possibly the most important part after orders, products, and customers of any business: marketing. Okay, marketing. Let's just call out the way that we bring in our customers. Okay, you could have the most amazing website in the world, but if nobody can find it, then you're not going to make any money. And I have seen, trust me, so many people build incredible websites and not make any money because they don't understand how to drive traffic. Now, a really important, very exciting part of this course is dedicated to teaching you how to drive traffic, and not just any old traffic, but high quality, free traffic, okay? Traffic sources can be very, very expensive and often not that effective. So I'm going to show you some incredibly effective free traffic techniques so you can start driving high quality customers to your site to buy your products, okay? And I'm pretty much all into this, by the way. This is my 20 plus years of e-commerce experience. And then the last one in this list, this top list here, is discounts. So this is simply where we can create coupon codes. I think everybody's sort of familiar with the concept of a coupon code. This we're doing digitally. We can create a coupon code to allow people to get discounts for certain products. Then I'm going to skip over, if you don't mind, just for a moment, I'll come back to it. I'm going to skip over the sales channels and go straight to apps. Now, I'm sure that everybody listening to this course is familiar with the concept of an app, all right? But just in case you're not, it really is just the ability to download a program onto whatever we're doing to increase its functionality. All right, with our smartphones, we're constantly downloading apps for, could be anything, right? The weather, banking, anything you can pretty much think of course, there's an app for it. And Shopify is no different. Shopify has an app store where we can enhance the functionality of our store with certain apps. And I'm going to be showing you exactly the apps that you need to build your store, of course, at the appropriate time. Okay, let's circle back to sales channels. So you can see it's in plural and we've only got one. So first of all, what is a sales channel? Well, a sales channel is simply a place where we sell our products. So a sales channel could be, in this case, our online store. It could be a physical shop. It could be somewhere on social media. Anywhere where we have a touch point with our customers is generally considered to be a sales channel. Now in this course, we are primarily going to focus on the online store. That's really all you need to build out a great business. So if I click on online store, okay, not on the eye, we did that before in order to actually open up the site itself. But if I click on online store, another menu opens up here, okay, and we got themes, blog post, pages, navigation, and preferences. So let's just go down through each one of these, and of course we're going to come back to all of this. Everything I'm talking about we'll be coming back to at the appropriate time in the course. But just to go over this, as I said, in a high level manner. So themes, what is a theme? A theme is simply the presentation of our store. So again, if you think about that store in the real world, we could have like some kind of a window dressing, the way that we present our store. And a theme is essentially that, the way we present our store. We could have different themes. We can have different ways of presenting our store depending on our own personal preferences, or that's what we're selling. Okay, so we can interchange themes if we want very easily. Then with the blog post section, we can build, you guessed it, a blog, okay, that comes built in within our Shopify store. Now, the next one is, of course, a very, very important, pages. We can add any number of pages to our store. We might have different types of pages. We'll have pages where we're going to be showing our products. We might have pages that describe our business. We might have a page that talks about our terms and conditions. We're going to have many pages as we build out our store. Next up, navigation. Navigation is simply the area where we're going to build the menu for our store. Every store's got a menu, and this is where we're going to build it. And then lastly, preferences, just some of the general settings for the store itself. And then last but by no means the least, tucked away down the bottom left-hand corner here, if you haven't noticed it, are the settings for the entire Shopify admin system. And if I click on this, it brings up another menu with all kinds of good stuff. Now, I repeat myself, but we don't necessarily need all of this. And of course, I'm going to show you at the appropriate time the bits that you need, okay? So please don't be overwhelmed by yet another menu with loads of other good stuff in it, okay? As I say, we're going to look at this when we need it. But right now, all we need to do is to close it, return to the main page, and I hope by now you're starting to feel a little bit more familiar with Shopify. All right, I know we've only done a high-level overview, but I hope you're starting to see that actually this isn't that difficult. It really is all point and click. You really can build out a fantastic business. And that's exactly what we're going to start doing in the next lecture. So in these very first lectures in building out your store, the first thing we're going to do is put together some pages, not the most exciting pages in the world, but they are nevertheless essential. Okay, we're going to talk about the Contact Us page. We're going to do some terms and conditions, the privacy policy, and also our refund policy. Others say not that exciting, but they are essential building blocks for any business. You need these in place. And of course, at the same time, you're also going to learn how to build a page for your site. As ever, you're going to see it's very simple, and you'll then use those skills, of course, going forward, because you're going to make probably a lot of pages for your site. So how do we do it? Well, what we do, first of all, is go down to the online store, and we were just looking at this in the last lecture, and let's click on Pages. Now, in order to add any page, we simply need to click on the Add Page button over here. Okay, so click on Add Page. And here we have it. Now we have the template for any page, and it's always the same. All right. We have a title for our page. We have the content. And this comes with a nice little editor for us to be able to do things like bold or change fonts or change colors. All right. We can make very nice looking pages very easily. Down here, we have our search engine listing preview. In other words, once we've made our page, what's it going to look like in the Google rankings? Up here, we've got visibility. You can see we got visible or hidden. So why would you want to necessarily hide it? Well, it might be that you're working on it. You're not yet ready to publish it to make it visible to your users on your site. And then we can also associate a template with a page. Okay, I'm not going to get into this now because it's not necessary. But just to say you can have a template all you need to know right now is just simply accept default page, okay? So you can just leave this as is. So that is literally the building blocks for any page. And so in this lecture, we're going to create the Contact Us page. So our title is going to be Contact Us. We just make that like that. Okay. So Contact Us now. Some people do a Contact Us and an About Us page. I like to put the two together. That's just my personal preference. I just prefer it to all be in one place. I like to be able to describe my business a little bit and also give the person the ability to contact me immediately without, let's say, having to go anywhere else on the site. But that very much is my own personal preference. So having done the title, of course, the next thing I'll need to do is to create some content. And this is where I want to give you some really good tips. First of all, I see so many sites where the Contact Us page is almost blank. It just simply says, please contact us here, and then a telephone number or an email address or something like that. And that is a huge missed opportunity. Let me explain. In the online world, what is so important in order to build out a successful business, what is so important is trust with your customer. Any opportunity you have to increase trust, you need to take it, and the Contact Us page is a perfect example of that. So rather than leaving it almost blank, all you want to do is just describe your business. And it doesn't have to be anything, fancy, loads and loads of paragraphs. Just simply describe what you're doing. You could say something like, hi, welcome to my store. Thank you so much for taking the time to drop by. On my store, I have put together a bunch of products that I'm really passionate about. I really hope that you enjoy it as well. If you would like any further information or contact me for any other reason, please feel free to do so using the contact details below. Okay? Now I know that's not much, but it creates a human connection. It's almost like I've had a little conversation there with my potential customer. And the other thing to say about Contact Us pages is that some people don't think necessarily that they're visited very often, but trust me, they really are. If you think about your own behavior online, you probably go and have a look at the Contact Us or the About Us section more often than you think. Particularly if you're actually going to buy from the person, you go there to get the contact information, but you also want to see what the business is about, right? You want to feel that trust. And that is exactly what I'm trying to get over. Okay, so very, very simple to do, so don't miss this opportunity. Now, the other thing that I see people doing is that they big themselves up, or they feel like they need to big themselves up. So, I've seen many, many examples over the years, but the more ridiculous one will be to get some sort of stock image from somewhere of a big fancy glass-fronted office building and put that on the Contact Us page and kind of pretend that that's your office, okay? You're not fooling anybody, okay? People can smell this sort of stuff straight away. They realize that you're, let's be honest, not telling the truth. And once again, that's an opportunity that you've missed. You have not built trust. In fact, you've done more or less the opposite, okay? So please don't do that. Just write honestly what you are doing, and don't forget, your first draft, you can change this at any time. So easy to come back and change this. And just click save, right? And you've now got a brand new Contact Us page in a matter of seconds. So just write something as your business evolves, so is your Contact Us page. Now at the moment, you're probably thinking, well, that's all well and good, but I don't have any way that my customers can contact me. Well, in fact, that's not entirely true. You have the email address that you use to sign up for your Shopify store in the first place. So you can very easily put that here. You can make a very short description. Please don't overthink it. Okay, as I said, you can change all this stuff. Just make a nice short description and then say, please contact me. And then just put the email address that you use to sign up. And then having done all of that, all you need to do is to click on save up the top here. And that's going to be your very first Shopify page. Congratulations. Now, if I go back to the pages, if I click on pages here in the menu, here's the list of the pages. Okay, we just got the one page, the Contact Us page, which we created just now. I could click on this to edit it at any time. I can check this here, and I can do various actions like delete it if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it showing on the site. And then if I want to see it on the site, I could simply click on a view page and that's going to show me where it is on the site itself. So I hope you can see how simple and quick it is to create pages. Now let's have a look in the next lecture at creating the other 3 essential pages that we need for our business. Okay, fantastic. Welcome back. So as I just said, let's have a look at creating these last 3. Let's face it, a little bit boring, but very essential pages. So in order to do this, once again, it's going to be pretty straightforward. We need to go down to the settings. And then amongst all these settings, scroll right down the bottom and you see policies. Now, this is where Shopify once again makes it nice and easy for us. You can see that we have a refund policy here, a privacy policy, and also a terms of service. Now, those are the 3 pages that we need to create. We also have a shipping policy, some contact information, and a legal notice. But to be honest, at this stage, that's not necessary. We need to focus on those first 3. And then to make it even easier, we have this Create From Template button. So all you need to do is to click on the Create From Template. Now, as you can see, it's inserted some text immediately. And if I read through it very briefly, I'm not going to do it right now, but you can see that it's inserted some information that it already has. Okay, so it's got my email address in there, for example. It's left me a placeholder for the return address, so we can worry about that a bit later. But what's important right now is that you have a refund policy at the click of a button. If I scroll down a bit, I can do the same thing for the privacy policy. Okay, so there it all is. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, have a read by all means, but you'll see this is pretty generic. You might need to insert some information, but please don't worry about it too much, especially at the stage when we're literally just getting started. So let's scroll down to the last one, which is the terms of service. And so we'll create from template there as well. And once again, we got a terms of service. So what we now have is all the text we need, which is brilliant. So if I now click on save, just to make sure that we got all that. Okay, so we've got all the text that we need. Now we need to put this text into the appropriate pages. And this is how we do it. All they're going to do, I'm going to use the refund policy as the example. It's exactly the same for each one. But taking the refund policy, if I put my cursor in here, do a right mouse click, go to select all or Control A, whatever you need to get all of the text here. Okay, then I can do another right mouse click and copy it. Okay, so now I've got it in copy. Right, let's now come out of here and create the page. So of course, all we need to do now is go back to Online Store, Pages, and then Add Page. We give it the title of the refund policy. And then for the content, we can just simply paste in the text that we just copied. So there we go. There's my refund policy. So now all I need to do is click on Save. Go back to my list of pages where, of course, we see the Contact Us page that I created in the last lecture. And now the refund policy. So absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do exactly the same for the terms of service and the privacy policy. Okay, it's exactly the same process, so I don't think you need to watch me do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll see you back here when I'm done. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I have now created the necessary pages, the terms of service, the privacy policy, and the refund policy. And I would encourage you to do exactly the same in just a few minutes. You will also have those pages ready to go on your site. Okay, well, welcome back. Now, one of the things that you might have noticed is that although you've created those 3 pages, you can't find them anywhere on your store. Okay, so let me demonstrate. If I go to the online store and click on the little I so that we can open it up, I've got all the things that we were looking at before. I've got home and catalog, and if I scroll down the bottom here, I've got search, etc. Right? Nothing has changed. I still can't find those pages I just created. So in order to make that happen, what we now need to do is to start building out the navigation system. We need to start expanding on this home and catalog part of this site here so that we can start to include those pages amongst many other things that we're going to build as we continue with the course. So in order to do that, we need to go back to the admin system, go to the online store, and then click on navigation. So straight away, you can see that we have a menus. Okay, already included. We got a footer menu and we got a main menu. Now in the main menu, we have home and catalog, and in the footer menu, we have search. You can probably already see how this hangs together, but just to be clear, if I go back to the site, over here, up the top here, this will be the main menu, right? Home and catalog. And if I scroll right down to the bottom here, where we have search, this will be the footer menu. So what we want to do now is we want to add the Contact Us page up here in the main menu. So to do that, I'll go back to the navigation system. I'm going to click on main menu. Okay, so here are the current items, home and catalog. And then I can add in another menu item. So what I'm going to do at this point then is give it a name. So Contact Us. And then I have the option to associate it with a certain link. So now if I click into this part here, you can see all kinds of various options popping out. And what we're interested in right now are pages. And more specifically, the Contact Us page. So you recognize these pages now. Okay, these are the 4 pages that we've already created. So I'm going to click on Contact Us. Click on Add. And then I'm going to save the menu. So you can now see that it's been added into our menu items. So if I go back to the store now and refresh this page, and just before I do that, keep your eye on this bit here. The Contact Us is going to get added in, and let's refresh the page. And there we go. Contact Us has now been added in. And if I click on Contact Us, it brings up my Contact Us page, which, as you remember, I didn't actually add anything to, but hopefully you've got yourself a nice Contact Us page by now. Okay, so it's taken us straight to the Contact Us page. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the other 3 pages, but I'm going to put them in the footer. Okay, so for the privacy policy, the terms of service, and the refund policy, I'll put those down the bottom. So to do that, I go back to my main menu. Let's come out of here. And now I want to go to the footer menu. So I can click on footer. I can add in a menu item. So I could call one the privacy policy. Click in the links here, go to pages, select the privacy policy, add it in. Okay, so there's the privacy policy now. Let's do another one. So let's do terms of, service. Okay. And then go down to pages again and take the terms of service, add that in. And then finally, the refund policy. So we put in a refund policy and find that one. So here it is. Click on add and then just simply save the whole menu. All right. Go back to the store. Let's come out of this whole thing back to the home page. And then let's just refresh. Scroll down the bottom where we should see you waiting for us. There we go, the privacy policy, the terms of service, and the refund policy. So if I click on privacy policy, there it is, okay? And that's it. So not only have we now created 3 more pages, but you've also learned how to build a menu within Shopify. And you can see, hopefully, how simple and easy that is to do. And of course, we're going to revisit the menu as we go through the course and start to build out more and more content on our site. But right now, that's the boring stuff done. Okay, so you've done all that. We've done the essential admin. So now we can start to get far more exciting with building out our online business. So absolutely massive congratulations to getting to this point, particularly if you follow me along and creating these pages. And I shall see you in the next lecture. Okay, so let's get into the more fun stuff. And let's kick things off by creating our own logo. So here I am on the homepage, of course, and the moment we have this logo of sorts, of course, it's just a placeholder that says my store. Okay. But creating a logo is so important for your business, obviously. Now I say obviously, but it's also incredible how many people don't really bother with a logo, or if they create a logo, a really bad one. Creating a logo, as you're going to see, is not hard, and it's such an essential part of your business. It is, at the end of the day, a fundamental part of your brand, and your brand going forward as you build this business out over the years is key to building trust with your customers. I talked about trust being so important a couple of lectures ago in order to create that connection with your customers and to build a solid sales stream. So a logo is a small part of that, okay? A small but essential part of that whole trust building process. Now, when it comes to creating your logo, you might be a gifted graphic designer, But my guess is that most of the people who are taking this course aren't. I mean, I am certainly not, but that's for sure. So if you are a gifted graphic designer, then that's fantastic. You've probably got some fantastic tools already that you can go ahead and create your own logo. But for the rest of us, we need to find other solutions, and luckily, there are two really great solutions that I want to share with you right now. Now, the first one is to get somebody else to do it, okay? It's really not that expensive to get somebody else to design you a logo. And there are a host of services out there these days. One of them, which I'm sure you're familiar with, which is Fiverr. Okay, so 52hours.com. This site has been around now for, it's gonna be 10 plus years. It started out with everything being $5. Now it seems that $5 is the entry level price, but nevertheless, it's amazing how much cheap and good stuff you can get done on this site for a very low fee. And logo design is no exception. So where we have this search engine here, I can type in here logo design and click on search. And when it pulls back the results, you can see that there are, at this point, 188,756 services available. Now, not all of them are going to be logo designers, but there are an awful lot. And if we scroll down here, I'm not going to spend too much time there, but you can see that there are plenty. Okay, I will make you a professional logo design, $26, for example. Okay, 4.9 stars and over 1,000 reviews. That could be, for example, a very nice start. So the point being here that within just, let's say, a few minutes, you can probably find somebody to create a logo for you at a very low cost. Now, if you don't want any cost at all, then that would be great. A big part of this course is really getting your business up and running with the minimal amount of investment, okay? I talked briefly a couple of lectures ago about this big section that I have on traffic, free traffic, which is typically the most expensive part of any business, is building your traffic. That part's going to be free, okay? And I like to focus as much as I can, especially when you're getting started, so that you can get the biggest bang for your buck, so you don't have to invest huge sums of money before you see any kind of results. So this is no exception. So we got a very low cost here, logo design possibility, but we can also go for free, and we can use this tool here, which is Canva, Canva.com. Another tool that I've been using for years, and this is a point and click logo design piece of software online, which again, super powerful and very easy to use. All you could do is come up here, click on this sign up thing here, and sign up completely free. As I say, there are paying parts, but you don't need them to create a logo, especially at this stage. Now, I've already got an account, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in, and then I'll see you on the other side once I've done that. And then what we'll do is we'll actually go ahead and create a logo for the site. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see straight away, there's all this stuff going on here, okay? I want to take you, as ever, to the point that really matters. So over here, draw your attention to a logo. So I want you to click on logo. And that's going to bring up this very nice logo designer software. Now, just before we get into creating the logo itself, I want to say that at this point, I'm going to start creating a store around dog products. Okay, that's going to be my store. And the reason for that is because I've been teaching for many, many years, and I always use that, if I'm perfectly honest. If you've done any of my other courses in the past, you'll know that I often use the dog store concept for teaching. It just works really well. Okay, to be honest, everybody knows what a dog is, and everybody has an affinity toward dogs, so it's great for teaching. Now, that doesn't mean, from your point of view, you now need to start thinking about exactly what your store is going to do. Okay, you don't. We're still too early with that stage. Having said that, if you've got a particular passion of things that you might want to sell, okay, some sort of interest of yours, some kind of hobby, something you really enjoy doing, you might want to start thinking about possibly selling products in that area. They can often help. If you already have an interest that you could maybe capitalize on to build out a great business. Now, if you don't, or you're unsure, then please don't worry. You can simply create a general store, and therefore you can create a very generic logo. Okay, just something really simple, because you can always change it later. You're going to see now how simple and easy it is to create a logo, and you can very easy therefore come back and edit it, delete it, create a new one at any time. And let's not forget, it's all for free. So with all that in mind, what I'm going to do here in this search bar up in the top here, so I'm going to type in dog. Okay, it's going to type in dog here and then click on search. And it's going to bring up a whole load of pre-made logos, believe it or not, to do with dogs, which is great. So I'm off to a flying start. So you can see all of these, right? I haven't done anything. And these look great. Yeah, many of these look really, really great. Now, as I come down here, you're going to see that some of them have got, for example, the word pro next to it, pro there, pro there. That means it's pay. Okay. So those are the ones, unless you do want to pay. Normally it's a very affordable fee, but as I said, I'm looking to do this for free for the moment. Those are the ones that are paying, and those that don't have pro are therefore for free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one here. Okay. This is going to be my one. Now I've clicked on it, and already you can see that it's now sitting here on the right-hand side. This is my editor. I can now play with this very easily to make it fit for my store. So let's start doing exactly that. So first of all, the name, okay, it's called Perfect in this. Now I'm going to call my business The Dogadores. Okay, yeah, those are brilliant. But I hope you get the idea that I'm just trying to portray at this stage. So let's change Perfect to The Dogadores. So all I need to do for that is to select it, double click on it, and then just simply start typing, right? So The Dog Adores. Now this font here is obviously looking a bit odd. So I can then go up here to the top here and change the font. So let's imagine I choose Montserrat and I make it a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to move it up a bit. So I just grab it and put it up like this. Then let's select the grooming salon. Let's move that down to here. All right. You can see how simple this is. And let's say I now want to make that a bit bigger. So let's increase the font until we get it to a size that starts to make a bit more sense. Now the line spacing's not great, so I could reduce that. So here's the line spacing here. So I could slide this down or up. See that? Okay, I'm just really just demonstrating this software. You can see the power of it. It's great, right? It's really fun to do this. So let's imagine that we're more or less happy with that. Now I might want to centralize it a bit as well. So yeah, that looks pretty cool. So now let me just put it where I want it. Okay, The Dogadores. Then of course we want to change grooming salon. We're not a grooming salon. Okay, I'm selling dog products. So I'm going to call mine, and I'm going to call it the One Stop Dog Shop. That was just literally off the top of my head. Maybe it's a bit of a mouthful, but nevertheless, that's what I'm going to call it. Okay, the One Stop Dog Shop. Even I can't say it that well, right? So let's put it here now so it aligns nicely with the bottom. And I think I'm going to change the font as well to Montserrat. That just looks kind of quite cool, right? Bit clearer. So now, in just a few clicks, you can see that I've got a really great looking logo. And you probably sense that this isn't something I rehearsed. I'm just literally going through the motions. I did it exactly like this because I want you to see how easy it is. It's not like I've done loads of takes to do this. I'm doing this in real time. And in just a matter of minutes, I more or less got my logo done. Now, the last part I want to do is just change this background here. So I don't like this background color. So if I click on this, you see this square up here. If I click on this, I can now select some different background colors. And I'm going to go for white. Okay, I like the white. You can then see that the One Stop Dog Shop looks a bit too gray now. So let's make that a different color. So that's going to be up here. Let's make that black. Okay, and to be honest, I'm really happy with that. That's now going to be my logo. So the only thing I need to do now is to download it onto my own PC or Mac or whatever you have so that I now actually have it. So I'll do that. I just go up to the share button here, click on this share button. You can see there's a download option, so click on download. You can leave all the defaults as is and then just click on the download button. You can now see that it has been completed. So I now have this, and what I'm going to show you in a few lectures time is how to add this to the store. But in the meantime, I would really encourage you to create your own logo using this software. It is, as I keep saying, really fun to use. Now, even though I've downloaded it, I can, of course, log back into Canva at any time, and it's going to be there, so I can edit it, alright? So just to say that it's always there within the software. So have fun putting your logo together, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lecture. Okay, so as I just said, I want to take a moment here just to talk about images in general. Now, the key point here, the key takeaway here from this lecture is that in order to create a great looking site, images are of extreme importance. They are the initial impact, right? That's what's going to impress your customer. Now, I know that sounds really, really obvious, right? But at the same time, with all the reviews that I do, so often I see a site where somebody has spent no time thinking about the images, and the site just doesn't look professional and looks very amateur. And therefore, people just generally won't buy from it. Think about it from your point of view. If you went to a site where the images looked a little bit unprofessional or just looked like they'd been taken from anywhere, you wouldn't necessarily feel confident in buying from that site. So images are of paramount importance. Now, we can get images from all over the place, okay? And I'm going to show you a bunch of different sources here during this lecture. And we can pay for them or we can get them for free, all right? Now, there are lots of great image sources for free. Okay, I'm going to show you those as well. But I do want to start off with the paying images. Now, you might think, well, if there's a bunch of stuff available for free, why do I even want to look at the paying? Well, there are three main reasons in my opinion, okay? The first one is choice. Typically speaking, on a paying site, you're going to have a much wider range of images available to you. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is the quality of the images. There's no question that you can get good quality images on some of the free sites, but on paying sites, you're always guaranteed images of the highest quality. Now, if the reason is the question of royalties, royalties are always associated with images, and royalties is basically whether you can use their image or not for yourself. Now, I'm going to show you some free sites where you can get royalty-free images so you can use those, but of course, on the paying sites, you own them. You don't have a problem with royalties. That's the whole thing. You buy it, you own it, you keep it forever, and you can use it for whatever purpose you wish. Now, it probably sounds like I'm trying to push you towards the paying option. I'm really not. I'm just want to make you aware there are some great free options. You can no problem. You can build out your site with all kinds of free images. You're going to see that. But I just want to make you totally aware of the advantages of paid images should you want to use them. Okay, so let's have a look and see where we can get images from. You've been looking at this for a little while. iStockphoto.com, an absolutely enormous database of paid images. Okay, so we're going to start with the paid image sites. And there are two in particular that I recommend. So these are very simple. You just have the search thing here. If I want to search for dog-related images, I could just type in dog, and I get absolutely tons of images popping up. 1.2 million, I hope you can see that. Dog stock photographs. So an absolutely enormous choice of very, very high quality images. Now, in terms of cost, you're probably looking at about $5, something like that per image, maybe up to 10. It sort of depends, right? But it's that kind of ballpark figure that you want to think about. I believe that as a long-term, we're talking about building a long-term business here, that spending $5 or $10 on an image is well worth it. Okay, I consider it to be a very, very good investment. But at the same time, I do understand that not everybody has a budget for this kind of stuff, especially in the beginning. So I don't want to repeat myself too much, but I'm going to show you some free stuff as well. Now let's jump over to the second one, which is Shutterstock. Okay, exactly the same principle. We have a massive database of things we can search. So if I type in dog here and search their database, this time I get a 3.1 million dog stock photographs. So absolutely loads of photographs as well. Okay, so two really, really good paid image sites where you're literally never going to run out of ideas. So let's now talk about free image websites. Now I've kicked this off with Google. You can see here after I search on images for dog. And the reason for showing you Google at this point is basically to say that Google, sadly, is not a brilliant source of free images. I know there are many, many images, and of course you can download them. But most of them these days come with some kind of license associated with them. It didn't used to be like that a few years ago. You could pretty much take images as you wanted. But these days, it's a little bit more complicated. Just to illustrate this, if I click over here on Tools, you can see here, Usage Rights. If I open this up, I got all. And then I got two other options, Creative Commons licenses and Commercial and Other licenses. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of those, but suffice it to say that the word license is on the end of both of them, which implies there may be some usage rights. So sadly, as I say, Google is not a great source for images that you would use commercially on your own site, which of course is exactly what we want to do. But fear not, I have plenty of other options for you. So this one, just for example, is called freerangestock.com. It's the same principle. I could type in here dog, for example, and click on search. And I'm going to get, of course, a bunch of photos I can use on my site royalty free, and I don't have to pay for them. So if I scroll down here, any of these, for example, I can use on my site with no issue whatsoever. Now, there are many sites like this, and I could show you each one as part of this lecture, but I don't think that's a very efficient way of doing things because they're all basically exactly the same, right? You get the idea very quickly. So rather than do that, what I've done is in the next lecture, I put together a list at least 10 image websites where you can go and find completely free images that you can use on your site. So I really hope in this lecture I've given you some great sources where you can find your images either paying or free. And as you can see, there are many places where you can find free images. Particularly when you're getting started, I totally understand you may well want to go down that route. But whatever you do, please take a little bit of time to think about this. That initial impression, that professionalism, if you like, is so important when somebody comes to our site in the first place. So skipping over images, just any old image will do, is definitely not the attitude you want. You want to apply the best images you can to your website so that you continue to build out your incredible business. Now, before I get going with this lecture, there's a couple of things that I want to say, a couple of really key points. Now, the first one relates to taking courses. So many people take courses, not just my courses, but any course, and they're very happy to listen to all the lectures, but they never actually take any action. Now, if you want to make a better life for yourself, build a really successful business, which of course is exactly what I'm teaching you here, you need to take action. You need to just start. Now, the other thing that I firmly believe is that anybody can build a successful business. I know that a lot of people listening to this course have never started a business before, and it might seem quite daunting. Hopefully, you're starting to see this perhaps much more possible than you thought it was even, say, half an hour ago. But I firmly believe that anybody can create a really successful business with the right tools, with the right education, which of course is exactly what you've got here. Now, at the same time, it's just human nature to have doubts. We all do, right? We second guess each other. We make excuses for perhaps not starting, whatever it might be. Okay, that's normal. But I would really encourage you to just start. Just start in the simplest possible fashion, whatever it might be. But just get going and then try to maintain some kind of momentum. It's much better to do 15 minutes every day than to try and do 2 hours on a Saturday, something like that. You'll be amazed if you just start doing 15 minutes every day, how much you can actually achieve over time. You'll look back in a month's time and go, wow, I can't believe how much I've done and I've now got myself on the cusp of having a really fantastic business here. Okay, so really, that's just sort of from my heart. I hope you can feel that I'm really saying that from a passionate point of view because I really want you to succeed. I also want to say that, and you've probably figured this out now already, that this course is not about me building the most perfect Shopify store for you to copy. All right, what I'm doing here is I'm giving you the knowledge, the education that you need to do it for yourself. I'm giving you all the tools so that you can go away and create yourself a fantastic business. Okay, so I'm not spending a huge amount of time delving into every single detail. I'm giving you what you need to know, and it's up to you to run with it. It's up to you then to go ahead and make it happen. Okay, let's actually get into what this lecture is about, and it's going to be about themes. Okay, themes, you might remember this when I was talking a few lectures ago, is the look and feel of your store. Okay. My analogy then was to say when you're walking down the street in the real world, let's say you see a shop window, that's the kind of presentation of that person's business. In our virtual world, that's our theme. We can play around with the look and feel of our store. Now, I'm sure you remember if you go down to the online store and click on themes, then this is where it's all going to start to happen. So you can see here that we have the current theme, which is Dawn. Okay. That is basically the theme by default that we get with Shopify. Now, you see this bit here, these images here, where it says image banner, etc. If I open up the online store, you can see that this image here is this image here. That's because we are currently using the Dawn theme. Now, as I also said a few lectures ago, we can edit all of this. And that's exactly what we're going to start doing now. So this is a very exciting part of the business. We're actually going to start changing the look and feel of the store. And once again, you're going to see how simple and easy it is to use and how it is all point and click. The other cool thing is that once you've learned this skill that I'm about to teach you, you can apply it to any other theme. So just to clarify, there are many, many themes with Shopify. I'll show you that in a bit. There's not just the dorm theme, there's a zillion others, okay, depending on the look and the feel and the type of business that you might want to build. And you can swap themes out at any time as well. So should you build something with the dorm theme and then in a month's time think, do you know what? I don't like this anymore, or it's not really representing my business. You can very easily come and swap out for a new theme. Don't worry, you're not going to lose tons of work or anything like that. You can very easily swap out the theme for a whole new look and feel for your store. So what do we need to do next? Well, if we're going to customize our theme, what we need to do is to click on this customize button here. So when I click on the customize button, you will note that it opens up a whole new editor, which is the theme editor. As I'm sure you guessed, this is where we're going to edit our theme. This is where the magic is going to happen. Now, what you have here is a live editor. So what that means is that when you make changes, and we're going to do that in this left-hand menu here, I'm going to show you this in a moment. When you make changes to this, you're going to see those changes automatically represented over here. This is a live editor. You can see up here it says live. So this is fantastic. As we do the development, we see exactly how it's going to look on our store before we decide to publish it. So it really is very, very powerful. The other thing that's really powerful is that Shopify gives you what's called a responsive theme by default. And a responsive theme means that your site will automatically look great on any platform. So whether it be desktop, mobile, tablet, etc., it will respond. It's a responsive theme. It will fit to those different platforms. And you can see that up here in this little logo. So here, if I click on this, you can then see how it's going to look under mobile and desktop. So if I click on mobile, this is how it would look on a mobile phone. And then I go back to desktop. Okay, so very straightforward. But as you go through your development, you'll want to have a look now and again to make sure everything does look like it should on mobile, because a lot of people at the end of the day are going to access your store via mobile. Now, just before I get into the detail, we can, of course, at any time come out of this simply by clicking on this exit button up here. Let me just do that. I go back to where I was before, but of course, I got a lot more to show you. So let's click on the customize button again to get back to where we were. Okay, let's start off by having a closer look at how this left-hand menu behaves. So as I go down here, you're going to see if I hover over this, this is the image banner. If I come down to rich text and watch the right-hand side here, it immediately brings me to the rich text part of this page. If I scroll down here to feature collection, it brings me to the feature collection stage. If I go to collage, alright, I think you get the idea. So this is how I can navigate any section very, very easily. I can also switch things off very easily. So if I stay here on collage, for example, you'll see this little eye. If I click on that, I basically remove collage. It's no longer there. If I wanted it, I'll just click it back, of course, and then I can move anything as well. So I can grab this little hand here, those little dots, and I could move this thing to anywhere that I want. Now, what I want to do here first is to add in that logo that we created a couple of lectures ago. And in order to do that, I need to go up to the header. So if I scroll over header here, you can see that within the header is my logo and also the menu. All right. If I click into the header, therefore, you're going to see here some options that are going to allow me to upload a logo. So we got here logo image. So what I can do then is click on change and then click on select image. And then what I can do is go and find that logo that I created, and I can then upload it. So what I'm going to do is exactly that. I'm just going to go find it on my laptop, okay? I'm going to upload it, and I'll see you in a moment once I'm done. Okay, I'm back. I basically just selected the logo from my laptop, and as you can see, it's sitting here and is now added it into my site. I now have that logo. The dogger door is sitting there. So if I now come down here and select that, all right, so here it is. Then I could do things like change the logo width, for example. So I could grab this little button here and make it wider. And I think you probably agree that is a bit too wide, so I'll drop it down a little bit to something like 110. That ought to do it. Okay, so very simply, I've now got my logo on my site. And given that I'm happy with that now, I want to click on Save up here in the top right-hand corner. Okay, so that's now saved. So just to show you this, that things are really happening in real time, let's just go back to the store and let's refresh it, and we should see our logo. So we refresh it, and there we go. There's our logo. Okay, so things really are happening as we do them within this theme editor. So given that we're happy with that, what we need to do then is to come out of the header. And the next thing I want to focus on is this section here. Okay, you can see it's called Image Banner. And so if I click on Image Banner over here, then I can start to play with this area. Now, the first thing I want to do is therefore to change this image. Okay, we just got this placeholder image here. And I talked about images a few lectures ago, and you might now have chosen some images for your site. What I did is actually went and bought a nice image, which I think really nicely portrays the site. So in order to change this cover image, what I need to do is to go over here where it says a first image, click on select image, and then upload the image itself. So I'm going to go and find that on my PC, and I'll see you back here once I'm done. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I've now uploaded that image. This is what I consider to be a lovely image of a girl cuddling a dog. So I like this one, so I must select it with the select button down here. Okay, and that's now my cover image. At this point, I'm going to save, just to make sure everything is saved, and all good. Right. Now, the next thing I therefore want to do is to change this image banner. Okay, I don't want the word image banner anymore. So if I click on this, then it takes me straight to the place where I can start to play around with this text. You can see image banner over here. So let's change this and simply write, come and visit our store. Okay, not very original, I agree, but once again, I'm just showing you how to do these things. So now I've got come and visit my store. So let's save that again as well. And then what I'd like to do is to change this text where it says give customers details about the banner image, etc. Right? So if I click on this, guess what? Over here, it takes me immediately to the place where I can start playing around with this text. And then just in the interest of time, I've prepared some text, which is this. Okay, explore our fantastic collection of dog products. So I realize this lecture is going on a bit long, so I'm actually going to split this into two. Okay, so we'll see you in the next lecture where we'll carry on immediately from where I am now. Okay, welcome back to part 2. So this is where we left off in the last lecture. I'm going to click on this back arrow here to return to the main menu. And just before we progress further, I want to just give you a couple of tips about copywriting. Okay, this isn't a copywriting course, but it's an appropriate time just to talk about some very basic copywriting skills that will keep you in good stead going forward. So what I've done here is I've written some very basic text. As I said, come and visit our store, explore our fantastic collection of dog products. Now, there's a little bit more to that than just the basic text. That main title is the attention-grabbing thing. Okay, that's what you do with copywriting. Your title should really grab the customer's attention. So come and visit our store. That's very straightforward. I know it's not the best, but it's very straightforward and very precise to the point. Then the subtitle goes into a little bit more detail. It draws the person in, right? So we got explore a fantastic collection of dog products. So now I'm taking them a little bit further on my journey. And then below that, by default, you can see here I got a button, Shop All. Now I'm going to change that in a minute. We'll see that. But that is effectively a call to action. So I've taken them from a title, I've grabbed their attention, I've given them a subheading, which is a little bit more detail. And then I'm saying, come and explore my shop. So with that in mind, let's actually change that Shop All button and associate it with a page so that if somebody were to click on it, they would start to see our products. I know we don't have any products yet, but we will have fairly soon. So I hope you can see at least how copywriting at the most basic level works. That little tip will really help you going forward. So let's go ahead and actually change this button. So to do that, I'm going to click on buttons. And then this is where you can see that I can change the label. So it says Shop All at the moment. Now for me, that's not a very nice call to action. What I like to write is discover more ... That's basically my personal preference. I feel that's a nice way and nice call to actually kind of softer one. I don't want to be too abrupt. That definitely draws them in, makes them want to click and see what's going on in my shop. Now, the next thing is to associate it with a particular page. By default, in fact, Shopify has already done that for us, but you can see here, first button link, all products. If I click on this, then I get the opportunity, if I wanted to associate it with anything. Okay, I could send it to one of our pages, add terms and conditions page. That would be really weird, but I could. Okay, but what I really want to do at the moment is just send it to all products, and that's fine. Okay, so for the moment, I can leave this exactly as is. So let's keep everything nice and tidy. Click on save. So I'm out of here, and then just because I like to just see what's actually going on in the store in the real world, so let's just refresh this page as ever. And there we see it. Okay, come and visit our store, explore our fantastic collection of doll products, and then the discover more button. Okay, it's all going on. Right, I hope you agree that things are really starting to look a lot more professional now. And so at this point, all I really want to do now is to tidy up a bit. In fact, simplify this homepage. There's a lot of stuff going on here by default, which is fantastic. I would encourage you to create a homepage similar to this. But for the purpose of this course, I just want to simplify things a bit. So this is what I want to do. I want to keep this talk about your brand section in here. Okay, I'm not going to fill it in, but clearly I could put something there. It's a very nice way, again, of building trust with your customer. I'm going to keep this featured product section. We'll see that as we go through the course. And then what I'm going to do, however, is switch off multimedia collage and also this video section here. I'll also take out these columns, okay? So to do that, we saw that before, that very, very straightforward. So to take off the collage, all I need to do, come over here to collage and click on this little eye. Come over to video and click on the little eye, and likewise with the multimedia column. And so now my homepage is, if you like, a lot more compact. Okay, I'm not saying that's the correct design or anything like that, but just as I say, I repeat myself, but just for the point of view of teaching, I want to try and keep this thing as tight as possible. So there we have it. We've got everything we need for a fantastic homepage now. So let's click on it, save. And then let's come out of this editor now completely, right? So we come over here, click on the exit button. And then just to finish off this lecture, I want to show you something that has been building up, in fact, without your knowledge. And in order to do that, let's go down to the settings. Now, you remember the last time you were on this page, I said I'll bring you back here when it's required, okay? And this is one of those moments. So if you scroll down a bit on this left-hand menu and click on Files, you can see two files that I've uploaded to my site. I've got my logo and I've also got my dog cuddle picture. And so in this section, any files that you upload, any images, whatever it might be that you upload to your site, they're all going to be here. So you can manage all of that in the future very, very easily. So as I come out of here, I just want to finish up by saying absolute congratulations if you've got this far, particularly if you're taking action and following along with me. But because of right now, you're really starting to have a very exciting store. It is starting to come together. We still got lots more to do, of course, but it really is starting to look much more professional. And as I keep saying, all in just really a few clicks. So I would encourage you once again to build your store out. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid of it. I hope by now you're starting to see that you can make mistakes. You know, you can very easily correct mistakes. You can delete things. You can start again. It's very easy. It's not going to punish you. There's no reason to be afraid of this software, okay? So have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next lecture where we're going to talk about different themes. We've been talking about the dorm theme up to now, but we can in fact use other things, as I already alluded to. So let's have a little closer look at how that might work. Okay, welcome back. So in this lecture, we're going to talk about different themes. You have basically been looking at the Dawn theme right now, which is the default theme that comes with Shopify. But we can have all kinds of themes. And as I said before, really a theme is just a way of presenting your store. Now, what I would say before we go any further is that the Dawn theme is a great theme. You can definitely build out your store with the Dawn theme. And in many ways, I would encourage you to do that in the first place. But as your business develops, you might want to change out the theme. You might want to use a different theme that perhaps better represents your store at that point. So in this lecture, I want to show you where you can find different themes and how you can actually change them. So on the theme page here, if I scroll down, you see this section here, the theme library. And then we have two sections, the free themes, not easy to say, and the Shopify theme store. So I want to show you the free themes first. So all I need to do to look at those is to click on this Explore button here. And it brings up a collection of free themes, not many, but I hope you can see straight away that they're all very, very different, and that is therefore very, very easy to change your store to a completely different look and feel. So just for example, let's say we wanted to use the craft theme here. Okay, this one over here on the right. If I wanted to use that, then first of all, I would click on it. Gives me a little bit more detail about the theme itself. And then if I decided, okay, I definitely want to use this one, then I would click on the Add to Theme Library button here at the bottom. Then when the page refreshes and this little spinny thing finishes doing its job, you can see that the craft theme is now available. So if we go over here to the actions, if I actually wanted to use this, all I would need to do is to click on publish. And if I did that, it would then swap out my Countdown theme for my craft theme. Okay, so at the click of a button. And of course, it comes also with its own editor, which is going to be very similar, at least in the concept and at least in the way that it actually works, to the Dawn theme and everything I've already taught you. In order to do that, to get to the editor, of course, I would click on Customize in exactly the same way as we've been doing with the Dawn theme. So those are the free themes, but we also have, as I showed you before, the Shopify theme store. Now, while it says browse a free and selected paid, for the most part, we're talking about paid themes with the Shopify store. So why would you want to pay for a theme? Well, as you can see, the selection of free themes is really quite limited, and therefore you might want to have a particular look and feel that's simply not available with your free theme. And the other reason is that paid themes often come with some kind of support, typically 6 months of support, so that people can help you with any kind of customization that you might want to do or any questions that you might have. So to access the theme store, of course, all we need to do is to click on this Visit Theme Store button. And you arrive, not surprisingly, on the Shopify theme store. Now, the themes themselves are grouped into both collections and industries. You can see that in this top menu here. But what I find most intuitive is the way that they are grouped into industries, like I've talked more to what my Shopify store is about. Let me just show you the list to make that clear. If I open up the industries here, we can see that they're grouped up into various industries so that I can very quickly delve into themes that might be of interest for my business. Now, I've been talking about dogs all the time, so logically, I'd probably want to see what sort of themes are available in the pet supplies area. So let me click on pet supplies. And you can see I got the choice but between 3 themes, and you can also see the prices to give you an idea. $250, $280, $240. That's kind of a typical price range, and that will most likely be a one-off fee. So once again, let's just say I wanted to choose this minion theme, then I would click on this. I'm taken to the home page for the theme itself, so I could browse around and see if I like this as a kind of initial test. And then this is great. They often come with this view demo store. So if you click on this, it gives you an idea of what's possible with this store. I find it very inspiring, gives many, many ideas of what I could possibly do with my store going forward. All right, so let's just say I really like that. Let's go back to where we were. And now we therefore want to try the theme. So if I click on Try Theme, adding the Minion theme to my online store themes, my Shopify admin refreshes, and you can see that it says You successfully added Minion. So if I now scroll down to my theme library again, where we had Craft before, of course now you can see that Minion is also available in exactly the same way. Okay, so I can play around with this theme now with no charge. You'll notice I haven't paid for anything at the moment. I think it was $240, something like that, but I haven't paid for anything. And that's typically the way it works. I get to use this theme in the sense that I can customize it. I can use it to build my store, but I'm only going to pay for it when I actually publish it, when I make it live, when I really present it to my customers. All right. So now you can see how you can add both free and any theme from the Shopify themed store. Now, just to finish off, and I'm going to repeat myself here, I don't think you need to necessarily run off and pay that kind of money for a theme at this stage unless you've got a really advanced idea of what you want to do. You can stick with the Dawn theme. It gives you so much of what you ultimately need, and it's an amazing way to learn more and more about themes. So super congratulations for getting this far. I really hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm loving teaching this course. I hope you can hear it in my voice, and I'll see you very soon in the next lecture. So now that you're really starting to learn an awful lot about Shopify, and I really hope you're enjoying the course, I just want to take this moment to talk about getting help, because it's natural. All of us need help from time to time. Now, first and foremost, I want you to know that I'm not only teaching this course, but I do actively help my students, so please don't be afraid to ask questions. So you might be wondering where you can do that. Well, you can see on this lecture here, this is basically the Udemy player, what you're looking at more or less right now. And the reason I want to show you this is I want to draw your attention to down here to the Q&A section. You may well have seen this already, but just to make sure. Okay, so this is where all students could ask me questions about the course. And not only that, there's an awful lot of questions and answers that have already happened. So it is in fact a very valuable resource. And you can search all the questions just here where you see search all course questions. Now you'll also see that I am very active. I have answered over 1,800 questions at this point in the course. Okay, if you want to make a new question, you just scroll down here, and at the bottom you got ask a new question. Okay, so this is a fantastic resource provided by Udemy itself. In addition to that, Shopify also has its own help center, which you can find over here. And this literally has everything you need to know about Shopify. Okay, so just come over here, put in your question in the search documentation bar here, and you're very, very likely to find a solution. So just to re-emphasize, you are not alone. As we progress through this course, you have 2 fantastic resources at your fingertips. Okay, fantastic. I really hope that you're enjoying this whole process and that you're really excited about building out your business. And I just want to take this moment to do a little section sum up, because at this point, we've been together just not very long at all. I'm not quite sure how long this is now, probably an hour or so. And we have learned a massive amount, okay? Taking you through the business model, I've shown you how easy Shopify is to use and how point and click it is. And all those things I was promising you were going to happen, I hope you believe now have happened, and you're starting to feel really confident and excited about what you might be able to build going forward. Now, of course, we've still got a lot to do to the site itself, and don't worry, I have got a ton of knowledge to share with you going forward during the course. And if you have been watching lectures and not really engaging it, as I say, it's all about taking action if you want to make that difference. You might want to go back to lecture 3 and kick off your whole Shopify free trial. So what we're going to do right now, though, is change a gear. Okay, we're going to move away from building the site for a moment, because what I want to show you now are the markets that you're going to operate in. I want to show you how you can find profitable markets to sell products. Okay, because as I keep saying, this is a business. We're building a real business here. And therefore, finding products that will sell is obviously key. Okay, so let's crack on with that. Massive congratulations for getting to this point, and I can't wait to see you in the next lecture.